kind of agree with you here. How does that count as a book? You're reading pages no matter what. Color code your bookshelves. And specifically in romance books. Hello my beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Gianna Lian, and I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I feel like I haven't really sat down and just chatted with you guys about books and us just really having a little bit of a yap session. So a few days ago, I asked you guys over on my YouTube community page and also on Instagram your unpopular bookish opinions. Now I've done this video a few times in the past since I started doing YouTube, but we have a lot of new beautiful people, and obviously opinions change. There's definitely some new ones, so I wanted to do this video again where I am basically reacting to your unpopular bookish opinions. Now obviously I'm going to start with a mini disclaimer that these are obviously all my own opinions. I'm going to be reacting to them. I'm going to be giving my opinions on top of that and saying if I agree, if I disagree, if I can kind of agree with you here. I don't know, but at the end of the day, these are just my opinions. The first one, we're starting off super light. It says, not really unpopular, but I love Love and Gelato, like the book. And I feel like I can give my opinions on this because I've heard lots of reviews in the book community for this. I've heard amazing things and I've heard some not so great things about it. But obviously at the end of the day, it is still on my summer TBR. It has been on my summer TBR for about 2 summers now. So I know I'm going to get to it at some point because I'm still interested in reading it and I've wanted to read it for so long. So I can agree with this person possibly if I do end up enjoying it. But let me know if you guys have read that book down below because it is pretty popular. It's definitely an older popular book, so let me know. Next one says, I hate it when people fold my pages instead of using a bookmark. See, okay, I have a lot of opinions around this because I completely agree with this, but at the same time, I don't really lend out my books. The only person that I allow to read my books is my mom because she knows how crazy I am about keeping my books like in perfect condition. Like when you're reading it, I want you to be like barely opening the pages, you know? So she's the only person that I will let use my books, but I can completely agree with this unpopular opinion because it's annoying. You're going out of your way to allow someone to read one of your books and they just fold the pages or they're not very caring of the book. I feel like a lot of people are different when it comes to this though. Like some people do like to fold their pages. They like to crack the spine and stuff because they believe that worn books are loved books. And I do agree with that. I just feel like it's such a preference for specific types of people, and I am one of those people that I do not want a single flaw to be on my book. Like even if the cover is a little bit bent, no. No. That icks me out. I just hate it. Love interest over 500 years old. Now see, I feel like this unpopular opinion is more targeted maybe towards fantasy. I was a little bit confused from this one, but if it is targeted more towards fantasy, I would understand because that just makes sense. But I feel like that would kind of be weird in my opinion. I don't know, because I don't read fantasy or I don't really like, I've never had this happen to me. I feel like it would bother me though if that were the case, and I feel like the unrealistic measure of it would just kind of confuse me and just feel 10 times more unrealistic. Annotating books is ruining them if they aren't like self-improvement, self-help books. I mean, like I want to reread the book and get the experience again instead of just reading my notes and knowing where is each quote or where the slow burn stops slow burning. I don't hate if people do it, I just personally would never do it. Anyways, love you, Gianna. She's so sweet. But this is where we are very different here. I definitely agree with the people that don't like to annotate their books because I was someone that used to be like that too. When I started reading again, I was always so scared to mark up my books and kind of make them look worn, like how I just talked about the other opinion. But then I started annotating one book and I was like, oh, I really like this and makes the book more special to me. And then I kept doing it and then I started to enjoy it. Like I looked forward to annotating words and highlighting a bunch of things and tabbing a bunch of things in every book that I picked up. So I feel like it's definitely a preference thing, and I side with the annotating people that love to annotate. And I also believe that there's so many different ways of annotating. Like some people I find they just tab the pages, they don't even highlight, they don't underline, they don't like write a little note, they just tab things, and obviously those are removable. So I feel like even if you don't want to like go full on annotating and make it like too much work or too chaotic, then you can just tab Or what I want to look into getting, I've had this on my wish list for so long, are the clear sticky notes. Because yes, I don't mind writing in my book, but for the people that absolutely despise it and they still want to get that like annotating feel and like feel like they're annotating their books, you can just get these clear sticky notes and like stick them on the book and write on the clear sticky note. I feel like that's such a good idea. Whoever invented that, you're a freaking genius for all the book girlies. One is that I hate tabbing books. Okay, so funny how I was just going into tabbing. I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I would have against tabbing is how I can't get them to be perfect every single time I tab a new little sticky in my book. Again, everything needs to be perfect in my books. So I feel like that's the only thing I wouldn't like about tabbing. But other than that, I just love it. I like how it looks by the end. Like, especially if you color code the tabs to the cover of your book. It just looks so perfect. I don't know. I definitely am on the non-agreeable side for this one, but I love Neve, so I can't disagree with her too much. I can see why she's saying that, but I do love tabbing my book, so I'm sorry. Another one, I don't mind color coordinated bookshelves. I feel like this is such like a secret book ick of a lot of people's. I don't know why, because I did not know that there was a problem with color-coded bookshelves until I saw a few TikToks about it, and then a few friends of mine are like, you color code your bookshelves? I didn't know it was like a secret talked about thing that we don't do. So I don't know, I'm kind of with her on this one because I don't mind it. I feel like my bookshelf is color coordinated for my favorites on my new bookshelf, but I kind of did that like unintentionally, but I feel like it looks fine. I don't really know the problem with color coordinated books. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. Sometimes I love it and sometimes I just I wish that I organized it a different way, you know? So I don't really know, but if you guys know the whole lore on why we don't like color coded bookshelves, let me know because I'm curious now. There is no superior reading format. They are all great in their own ways. I feel like this one is a very important one to highlight because I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people kind of like label what reading is and what reading isn't. Like some people say novellas aren't reading a book. Like that doesn't count as a book. Why doesn't it count as a book? You're reading pages no matter what. It can count as a book. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just super important to not label what is reading and what is not. Because obviously everyone reads for different reasons. Everyone reads different things. Like even reading articles. You're still reading. That's still a form of reading. But I just don't think that it's fair to tell someone you're not reading. That's not counted as a book, you know? It's another topic that's very touchy to talk about because people are very opinionated over that topic. But in my opinion, I completely agree with this one. That there's no right or wrong way to do reading. Like, what? I think that's just such a silly statement to even make. In general. I despise long chapters. Short chapters make me feel more accomplished. I think this one might have been my favorite one out of all of them that we got because I don't know, I just find this one so funny because I agree with it so much and it's relatable to me so much. I literally will finish a chapter and before I put the book down, I'll look ahead and see how many more pages is in the next chapter to know if I want to continue reading it or if it's too long and I decide to put the book down. This person is completely right. You do feel more accomplished when you're like, oh, I finished another chapter, let's keep going, and then you finish another chapter. I feel like it may be an author's technique on hooking people into their book more because like this person said, you feel more accomplished when you keep finishing chapters over and over again. So maybe that's a good author's psychology strategy. Is that a thing? I don't know. I have actually recently started picking up books solely because they are shorter chapters. Like I will now go through before I buy the book and see, okay, how long are these chapters? Because I've pulled out a few books and their chapters are like 30 pages each. And I'm like, who is going to keep my attention for 30 pages in one chapter? Like that is absolutely insane. I just don't understand that. How is there so much to say in one single chapter? Why can't we just break it up into multiple different chapters? Especially if it's dual POV. If it's a dual POV and you're telling me that chapters are over 20 pages, that's just a no. This one was super interesting. Pet names. I don't even like Aaron Warner calling Juliet Love. Okay, so I agree with this one on a certain level. Like pet names, if we're talking about like the cringy pet names like Sweetie Pie, Sweetheart, and Honey, and that stuff definitely icks me out. But like love, I don't mind that. Babe, babe is kind of weird to be honest. I don't know actually, because now that I'm thinking about it, it depends on the character. In Beautiful Disaster, our love interest calls the girl Pigeon, and that is so weird and cringy, but I don't know, just because it's them saying it and him saying it, it's okay. So maybe I do kind of like the pet names, but I feel like it has to be with specific characters. So I don't know how I feel about this opinion. I feel like I'm very like both sides. I hate pet names, but then I like them. I'm gonna say I'm in the middle for this one. And then there was also another one for short chapters. Well, they don't like long chapters. This one is just superior, you guys. I feel like a lot of people agree with this opinion. Then we had a few Instagram ones come in. Dual POV sucks, at least in romance books. It makes the book less interesting. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I love dual POV. I don't know why. I just always have ever since I was like little when I would have to read books for school and stuff. I love multiple POVs going on in a book. I feel like it's mainly because I want to get to know each and every character from their thoughts. And I feel like when you don't have dual POV or multiple POVs in general, yes, you get to know kind of what the other characters are doing and thinking in a way, but you don't actually get to be immersed into their brain. And I love that. When I feel super connected to my characters, that's what kind of makes a book better, in my opinion. And specifically in romance books. I cannot tell you how many romance books that I have read that are not dual POV, and the whole time I'm sitting there like, I really wonder what the guy is saying, or I really wonder what his perspective of this is now. Like when you know a problem, there's always two sides to one story, you know? Like I want to know their side of the story. I want to know their thoughts. I want to know how they feel about this whole chaos thing going down, you know? So I'm gonna have to disagree with this opinion because I just love dual POV. I don't think I could read romance books without it. And I also really like murder mysteries that have multiple POVs, like The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I'm currently reading that right now. And we have about 6 POVs, I want to say. And I'm absolutely loving that because I get to know each and everyone's story and what secrets they're hiding, but they're not telling the others. And as readers, you get to know pieces that the other POVs don't know. And that makes me feel a little bit special. Can't lie. I hate when people say audiobooks are not a part of reading when they are. I think I've touched on this a few times, even in reading vlogs and just random book videos. I've definitely said this before. Audiobooks do count. I completely agree with this because at the end of the day, you are listening to the audio version of a book that has been published. Therefore, you are reading a book, you're just listening to it. But no matter what, if you're reading it in your head, you're still listening to it in your head. It goes hand in hand. No matter what, you're listening, you're reading with your eyes, you're having someone read it to you. If you're doing a read along in like your book club or something like that, because someone else is reading and you're listening, does that not count? It's the same thing as an audiobook. I don't know, this one just doesn't make me mad, but it just makes me really upset that people would say that because, again, you're literally listening to a published book. This is published. You can get this as a physical copy if you really wanted to. I've had this come up a few times and I just can't piece it together in my brain why people would think this doesn't count as reading. And if you don't, obviously let me know down below because I'm genuinely curious. But at the end of the day, maybe some people just don't like listening to audiobooks, so they're more so like, oh, that doesn't count as reading, even though they just don't like to listen to them. I don't mind listening to audiobooks. I just prefer to read physical books. I just like the feel of reading a physical book or on my Kindle and stuff. I like looking at the words. I feel like it goes into my brain a little bit better, and my brain can't jump and focus on a bunch of different things like when I do listen to an audiobook. The only way I can listen to audiobooks and the only way I like to listen to audiobooks is when I'm driving, because I feel like my brain can't really focus on too many different things other than focusing on the road. But like I can't get up and go do something else while I'm listening to the audiobook. I can't like start doing another project while I'm listening to the audiobook, you know? Like I feel like I'm sat down, I'm focused, and I can really actually take in the audiobook that I'm listening. So Chelsea, I completely agree with you on this one. Another one is when there is too much blank spice in books. Now you see, I feel like this is another hit or miss one. I feel like my opinions on this change again between the books that I read, because I feel like Icebreaker, let's use that as an example because that's one of the spiciest books I've read. You look at the cover and you're like, oh, this is gonna be cute, this is gonna be a good romance. Little do you know, it's literally spice page after page after page. So I feel like it's one of those where if you don't think the book is going to be spicy going into it and then wow, in your face it's just spice, 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 then yes, I think that that's definitely icky and that kind of like turns me off from the book. But again, if I pick up like Haunting Adelaide, then I'm like, oh wow, I'm in for a wild ride, like I know what I'm getting myself into here. Then I don't mind it because I'm like prepared for it and I'm like picking it up solely or specifically knowing that, you know? I feel like it's a book books that catch you off guard, that it's like, oh, I didn't think it was gonna be like this, and then you kind of feel like, I don't really like this book, or it's just not the best, you know? So I feel like, again, I'm in the middle for this one. You guys thought I was just indecisive choosing what book I wanted to read next or what books to put on my TBR. No, I'm indecisive for everything, even when it comes down to opinions. I don't even know my opinions at this point because I'm just so in the middle. But I think if I had to choose, I would be on their side for this one. This one's an interesting one. And the last one, it says, I didn't like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder book. I have only read the first book and watched the series, hated both. This one's a hard one for me to put my opinions on because I loved the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and personally I liked the books a lot more than the TV series. I feel like a lot of people didn't really enjoy the TV series, especially if they read the books, but I don't know, it's hard because I can't see reasons on how someone wouldn't like the series, like the book series. I know that it is a YA series, so some people don't really like reading murder mysteries that are YA. I know the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series is the only YA murder mystery I will be picking up. I tried other ones and I absolutely hated them, so that one is quite literally the only exception. But I'm kind of sad that they didn't like it. It's kind of making me sad because I know it's so loved in the book community and I know I loved it personally so much. I can agree with them on the TV series though, because I really did not enjoy that. I feel like the characters were not portrayed properly. I feel like they were just missing so many plot points. Like, I didn't even know how they were doing this series. Maybe there's gonna be more series. I don't know. I watched it back in the summer when it first released, so I don't even remember what happens. I don't remember how it ended. I don't remember if there was multiple things in the different books out of the series. I genuinely don't remember. I just know I didn't like it. So I can agree with them on part of their opinion. But the books, those are a definite read in my opinion. I highly recommend the series as a whole. I feel like each book just started getting better and better. I feel like my favorites were the first and third book. The second book was great, but it didn't give me the same feelings as the first and third book. So I would definitely check out the series, but just keep in mind that it is a YA murder mystery series. But those are basically all the unpopular opinions that I wanted to read today. I feel like we had a lot of interesting ones, like some that I wouldn't have thought of myself, and now I kind of gained an opinion based off of reading them, so I feel like that was super nice. I love getting you guys involved in my videos. It makes me feel a little bit more connected with you guys, and I just find it so fun. So make sure you guys are following my Instagram to participate in future things like this, along with also checking my community page or tab on my YouTube page as well, because I do post little polls. I post little updates, like if there's not going to be a video or asking what videos you guys want to see and stuff. I like to post on there quite frequently. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. I kind of really want to do another book icks video. I know it's very similar to this in a way, but I feel like the book icks would be funnier, and I also think that I could give my input on my own book icks as well, because I have quite a lot of them. I can't lie, there's a lot of them. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, or kind of giving you guys more book recommendations in a way, let me know, because I really enjoy filming these sit down videos, and I feel like I started doing them a lot like last year and then I stopped doing them. So let me know that down below, and if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you guys know what to do. Don't forget to check down below for my Patreon to join my Patreon family. We have so much fun over there, and if you want to see a bunch of behind the scenes that no one else gets to see, you're gonna want to check that out. But other than that, I really hope you guys are having an amazing, wonderful day. Thank you so much for 19.5 thousand beautiful people. I just love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Yay. Okay, let's go into my favorites. Did that make sense? I don't think it did, even though I don't understand it 100% fully. I was always so scared to oh my god. I think that's just this. I think that's just a no. Except for maybe like sweetie pie. That one's kind of weird. I don't know. And they have to actually fall for each other, and then they can add as much spice as they want. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. Did I say I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful day? I don't remember. The caffeine's getting in my head.